Holy fetch. This is it.
Are we rolling?
Yeah, it's rolling. We haven't started yet. I'm just making sure when we
go.
I just want to make sure everything's good. Like
you make that call. I'm just gonna act like I'm a guest on your podcast. Because I technically am, right?
Dude, I don't know. It's just a conversation because it's not. Before I had the idea that I'm gonna do this like weekly. This is like a one-off, like special edition. This is like a
once every like 3 year type of thing. No, once every other year.
Yeah, we locked in officially 3 years ago. Bro, my idea with this was always, like, I really thought I needed somebody to help me. Like, this setup that we have is fully Jacobo's, like, ingenuity. Like, he engineered this because the setup that I have before, I'm realizing right now in real time, like, I didn't, like you said, I wasn't thinking about the aesthetics because that's literally so crucial. And no matter how good our message was, people aren't able to sit through the entire thing if their eyes are like, oh, this is so awkward. Everything's off center. Like, yeah, dude, like now I'm realizing right now, literally I'm having these realizations right now, like Rogan, Theo Vaughn, like all the podcasters, it's all audio, visual, like it's on point.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the visual on point, which is a huge part of it.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I just think like practically there's reasons why they do all these little things, right?
Completely.
Having the shift in, one camera and then right after they go to someone else.
Purposeful.
And then they're also like basically angled so they're able to look at each other easily and just talk to one another.
Everything's going. We're locked in.
Okay. What's the battery on that?
Should be good for an hour and a half, sometimes 2, depending on.
And it was
fully charged. I made sure. I thought it died last time, so we're good. I'll keep my eyes on the red dot. Bro, I'm pumped for this. I'm pumped that you're here. And going back to it, bro, this isn't the official intro yet. We're just kind of warming up, like what I was talking about, like Rogan does with his guests. Mm-hmm. This was always a dream of mine, and I right now I do feel like we're leveling up. Like
it's
in
like
life,
more real. This feels
way more real. It's just with the setup. I got the backdrop going. I feel good about that. But
that was intentionally a backdrop.
Completely. Right. I was like, oh, it's missing this. It's missing. Because when we look at the backdrops in the past, I never had a backdrop. It was just plain, like the light. And then I was like, oh, I need to do more. And now it's finally
How long have you had that little shelf there?
It's been a year.
Oh, okay.
But it was like little, I had no idea about any of this. And even now, bro, you've blown my mind with this. Like, there's a bunch of like everything's scattered on the ground because we literally just did this. Mm-hmm. But I feel so good, and it feels like such a level up. Like the setup that we have right now, like I'm like literally in awe.
Really,
I'm impressed,
dude. I felt that with literally getting myself dunks.
Really, mm-hmm. Talk me through that, because I remember this going back, and we've written notes as well. Like in middle school, it was like sneakers was such a big like. You'd look at somebody, like I remember I'd get a fresh pair of Vans. And I'd feel like the man for a week. Like that week with my new fresh pair of Vans, it was like
freaking half caps.
I was the man. Uh-huh. And then you would do it, and it was like, oh, you were and it was like shoes was such a big part of like identity.
Yeah. Which I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I like that much, but
yeah,
just because you getting Vans or you getting shoes, you were trying to get like an external. We were all doing it to like
validation.
The validation, right? But in this case, right, this right here, this change is making you feel some type of way. I mean, obviously there's an external benefit from it, but for me, for example, with the shoes, it's like, dude, when I walk around with Dunks,
it's different. You feel different.
My green freaking Nike swoosh Dunks.
Those are sweet.
When I'm knocking doors.
Those are sweet.
I feel like I'm a freaking beast,
Wow.
And then and then obviously, right, it kind of looks cool. I get comments about it.
So it's the confidence that it gives you.
Exactly.
Okay.
So instead of seeking the validation like we did in middle school, it's more so like,
I like it.
It's more so like you feel more confident about yourself.
I feel like the theme that we've started right now has kind of been at every stage we progress and we level up with like everything. Every part of our being is being leveled up. Like, mostly the FaceTimes that we talk about, it's always like back to the spiritual, but it's all tied together. Like, even just going to the gym, the physical aspect, like being physical, being in shape, having your financial, spiritual, like it's all tied together.
Yep.
So,
yeah, dude.
Yeah, I feel such a level up. Anyways, I feel pretty warm now, so I'll just set it up. I got my homie Jacobo Cruz, who's pulled up once again. 3 years. What? Oh yeah, he pulled it at 10:30 at night. I was waiting all day for this guy to pull up, and he dropped so many different times. He was like, "Yo, I'll see you at 4 yesterday, like 4 p.m. I'll pull up."
Yeah.
And then you call me earlier today, and you're like, "Yeah, it's looking like 7:30." And then you pull up at 10:30 at night.
Dude, that's
and now it's midnight.
Unpredictability
basically.
with having a baby, dude.
No, fair enough.
Which is crazy. The entire drive, it's like it was systematic. Like, every 3.5 hours we were stopping. Obviously, it's like she spit up, and so we had to change her, right? Those little things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was.
You would never drive, and me and Emma were talking about this. You would never drive and feed at the same time. It was always stopped because the risk is just too insane.
Yeah, dude. Everything's just like too fragile. Even if you slam on the brakes, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Like, even that can mess them up. So
that's crazy, bro. And it's crazy that you're embarking on this journey. Like we tie it back to the gospel. We're going to be doing this constantly about like the journeyings. Because I was reading First Nephi, where they leave all their stuff and I don't know if they're like by donkey or whatever, or they're like just barefoot walking for 4 days in the wilderness, like with all their stuff. I don't know if they had backpacks. I can't picture what it is, but today, like
I'm pretty sure they had camels.
Camels?
Yeah. I mean, who knows? We could be completely off, but I'm pretty sure they were carrying it with something.
You taking this long journey with like a newborn brought me back to that, and even the movie I just watched where like there was like the Mary and Joseph bringing baby Jesus, and you brought a newborn here, and now it's all hitting me even more, like everything. Like I'm really feeling it as we go. Like I feel so privileged, truly, and I say this a lot, but I really do. Like the fact that you're here and we're talking, like I was so amped for this, so excited, and now that we're actually doing it, like I'm like, wow, these are really, it makes it that much more special that we don't get to do this on a whim.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you coming here, bro, like truly. And
of course, my dog.
Yeah, you've already had Prime. I was like, oh, if my boy hasn't had Prime,
you already opened your Prime?
No, this has just been a pre-opened, like I took a sip.
Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah, bro. I have freaking.
But that's a fresh one.
I have brothers in middle school.
So you've
they
tried,
literally collect these things.
Crazy. Well, you haven't had this though, so
I
wanted to get my home because like the YouTube game has always been like a huge thing. I draw a lot of inspiration from big YouTubers, and maybe if we eat this, we can be inspired. You know.
Yeah, Mr. Beast. No one does it bigger than him.
Yeah.
But yeah, this stuff is really good.
I don't know if it's healthy. The moon is that's why
10 calories, bro. Yeah, this one's one of my favorite.
So how would you describe that taste? Because I don't know how to. It's like one of those like Asian milk drinks. Have you ever had those? The yogurt milk drinks, the Asian.
The ones that like just the little foil on top.
The foil on top, yeah.
Bro, it's actually exactly what this tastes like. That's crazy.
That's what it tastes like. That's what they're mimicking. Anyways, you haven't had the Mr. Beast bar, so we're gonna get my homie's reaction in real time. With
just give me a little piece.
Bro, I think I think you're getting more camera than me.
Think so?
Yeah, you're getting just a smidge more than me. I just want it to be even. Yeah, we're in there. There's a share piece.
Actually, a share piece?
Literally like a designated share piece. So
that's crazy.
That's you. So just break that off. Bam, that's yours.
Dude, breaking bread together.
Breaking chocolate together, my dog. Cheers.
Cheers. It's like their version of the Crunch Bar.
Mm-hmm. I want to get your thoughts on it because it's only 6 ingredients. It's super basic. It's all organic.
Actually?
Yeah. It's puffed rice. It doesn't have that much sugar. And yeah, Mr. Beast is making a killing off these things apparently. And this is the old recipe one.
I mean, it's alright. Like if I'm going to have chocolate, I feel like I should indulge.
Like not Would you say it's kind of gimmicky? Like it's not a great chocolate?
Yeah. I mean, Mr. Beast has what, like 100 million subs?
Over 200 million.
It's
now.
actually insane. He's gonna be the first billion
Yep.
sub guy.
Yep. You're not gonna finish the chocolate. Are you on a diet? You don't like it that much?
No, I'll probably nibble at it.
Okay,
I'll
I got
definitely
you.
finish it.
I got you.
But
But the prime, what would you rate the prime and the share? That's like the
I
thing
think
nowadays.
it's the better way to talk about Prime. It's like comparing it to other drinks in its similar category.
Okay, fair.
Which would be, like the Gatorade Zero Sugar or the 10-calorie one.
You're in there, my dog.
The Body Armor, the Prime, and then Ghost Energy Drink hasn't.
You've had all of those.
Had all of them.
So where would you put it then?
Number 1. Actually.
What are your thoughts?
On this style of drink, it's number 1 compared to the other ones. They're all
Just
very
from
similar.
taste.
It's like the coconut juice stuff.
How much power and influence do YouTubers have nowadays?
It's the way to gain influence.
No longer traditional media. We're fully in the era of like YouTubers are the mainstream people.
Mhm. It's this generation's version of entertainment.
That's real.
But I don't really like it too much. I mean, I'll watch Danny Duncan's videos
Yeah.
if I want to get a quick laugh, dude.
Yeah.
Like his last video with the Cybertruck, I'm like, holy crap, this guy's an absolute G.
Really.
But then you realize that the guy's like 34. The guy's 34.
No kids.
Acting like a child.
Right.
You know? So it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, there's time and place for the entertainment, but I'm like, dude, like.
Their life is consumed by trying to stay relevant.
And then it's instant gratification even for them.
Yeah.
Even with them building out content, it's the instant gratification.
Bro, I wanted to talk about like the shift. I love bringing it back to Dobrik because I think I put you onto Dobrik.
Yeah, I had no idea who David Dobrik
And
was.
I showed you his videos, and then I remember you were like, dude, I've literally been nonstop. Like, I can't stop watching. Like, I've seen everything.
Yeah, I'd watched all of them. Because, I don't know, I think he might have blown up when I was on my mission.
Oh, I see.
So I didn't freaking know about him.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, those videos would hit. And it's actually insane that he was just somehow able to just stop.
Yeah, where is he now?
That's
a clip, dude.
He's still pretty freaking big on
Dobrik clip.
Snap. Right?
Is he? You still... I remember...
I don't have a Snapchat anymore, but like 6 months ago, I saw it.
Bro, you tagged me and a bunch of other people in his Tesla giveaways. I don't even know if they really do that. Maybe they do.
Like it's real?
Yeah. Because I never see like the people... I know Mr. Beast stuff. Like I've seen other people post on their YouTube channels like, yo, Mr. Beast is legit. Like it took 3 weeks, but he sent me... I got a wire for $500,000 or whatever.
Yeah, like on Twitter. He did some type of giveaways. Like I made like $250,000 in ad revenue on X.
Yeah.
I'm going to give 10 people $25,000 each if you like and retweet this or whatever.
Was that Dobrik or Mr. Beast?
That was Mr. Beast.
Okay, yeah.
And then a week later, he literally just tweeted and showed literally the 10 people that won.
Yep. So I know he's legit, but...
Yeah.
Bro, I wanted to also start with, and we don't have to do this, but I wanted to really set up the context of our friendship just to put it out.
I literally just dropped your chocolate, bro.
Bro, that might have been a subconscious, like... What would you rate the chocolate?
It's not bad.
And we can cut this out and make it into clips. Bro, where did it go?
It was actually the tiniest piece, bro.
Really?
Oh.
Dude. All right, it's fine. I got the... It's good. We'll just put it... We'll just...
Yeah. I was in such a good spot. I'm so comfortable.
It's good. We'll have like a what happened to Dobrik clip and all this other things. But just for our sake, like,
okay.
I wanted to set up the backstory of our friendship, and maybe our kids watch this, and who knows where the future takes us. But I just want to.
So good.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
I wanted to reminisce on like our childhood and like everything
that built up.
Yeah, like how. Because I really do feel like we have a special thing, and like we always talk about, like maybe every friendship feels that way, but I really feel like our friendship has lasted the test of time, and I can't think of another friendship that's longer than this one that I have.
I think it's also more insane that like we had the friendship, and then it just kind of ended up becoming even better because we just had the gospel, right?
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to completely talk about, where it's like going back to middle school, right? And
let's think about
yeah.
What's your first memory? If you
Of
were to
us?
think, yeah.
Oh man, I mean, there's big ones that come to mind, but first one, I can remember Facebook pictures of like us hugging in science class. Like Margot took pictures of us hugging, and everyone's like, "Oh, you guys are so gay," and like
That was the thing to say.
yeah, and it's like, yo, your brother would comment like, I question your sexuality, JC, and
Do you remember?
I remember those things.
Do you remember playing tap tap on your iPhone
And
together?
oh yeah, beginning of middle school, yeah.
That
People
was-
would go jaywalk to Safeway, come back with snacks, and we'd like, that was the hangout in the mornings. We would all get dropped off early, and we'd like hang out.
And the gate was closed.
Yep, the gate was closed, and once the bell rang, and you had to make your way, you had like a minute or two to make your way to class once the gates opened. But yeah, that was the hangout. I was one of the first ones with like an iPhone. We played tap tap, and I was like, once again, those little things that like made you feel cool. Like, oh, I'm the guy with the iPhone that
Bro,
we're playing tap tap.
6th grade with the iPhone 1.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, was it can you remember? Was it something
was,
that you wanted, that you're like, I want this?
It was my dad's, like, it wasn't even me. It was like my dad like got 2 iPhones for whatever reason. And he's like, oh, they sent me an extra, or like I got an extra iPhone, like, here.
Now
It was
your-
like a-
that
it
was
wasn't
your
like a
first
surprise.
phone, right? No.
No,
you
I had
the slidey phone.
no, I had the flip phone. I had a old plastic flip phone where you drop and it couldn't break. That was my first one.
That's crazy.
But you never had a phone?
I did.
When was your
My first phone was 7th grade.
Okay.
It was the
A
one
BlackBerry?
that could, no, it was the
Okay.
one that could slide up and also slide to the side.
Oh, dude, I'm getting flashbacks of these things.
So the one that like you could slide up with just the numbers, and then if you wanted
Yeah.
to text, you'd be able to just go to the side and text.
Wow.
But it's so crazy, dude. Like back then,
Bro, I want to get back into your mentality, because I feel like we as kids didn't realize like how different we all were in our view of the world and life. Because I think, like, for me personally, I always felt like I was so naive to the world. And now that as I get older, I realize like I feel like other people had more awareness. Like I feel like you had much more awareness. And then we talk about other friends, like shout out to Morgan. I think about him a lot, like in terms of like childhood friends. He had crazy awareness, right? And I've talked to him about that. But like I want to get into like how you approached the world and friendships at such young, because I feel like it was different.
yeah, dude. I think for me, I think I had gone through I had seen so much with my parents at an early age. Like,
We're getting into it.
dude, I literally don't even want.
I kind of
I have no choice but to share. Obviously, like, I'm sure any married couple goes through this.
Yeah.
Like, I know there's some people that don't throw the D word out, like divorce, you know?
Yeah.
But,
I went through that as well.
right? So,
Yeah.
there's some couples that just never say it, right?
Okay.
My parents were not those type of people. So,
Oh, okay.
I remember, like, 4th, 5th grade,
Yeah.
like, hearing them argue about getting divorced. So, like, I had this hyper awareness of, like, how much words could hurt somebody.
All right.
Okay.
It was both
It
both
was
sides.
both. It was
Okay,
both.
okay,
It was
okay.
mutual.
Yeah.
So then in middle school, yeah, like I had this awareness of like, why am I going to make fun of somebody and intentionally hurt their feelings? And then I see people bully other people. I'm like, why are they doing that?
Were you a bully in some regard sometimes? You were a roaster. Would you make fun of people? I'm trying to think, like,
No,
you would
dude,
always poke.
that. I mean, maybe. Like, I think, I don't know. I can't really identify the type of kid I was, but I definitely was. I had my moments where I was like actually quiet, like
Yeah.
I was too much in
Very
my head.
observant.
Yeah,
Were you like a worrier? You definitely overthought situations.
Overthought everything.
Yeah.
yeah, which was the detriment to
I can see that.
Getting detriment to like getting girls, like being super confident, like having fun, like, and that rolls over into sports and how I view that.
I feel like and when you bring that up, the blessing and the superpower that I think back to was like being so naive to everything, like being so green
and being arrogant
and fully ignorant that was like to the point where it was like a superpower. Like I had zero clue of anything, that I was just so blatant.
Yeah.
But at that age, like confidence gets you so far.
Yeah, and the arrogance, like I'm not saying directly you, but like in general, like
seeing it, Daniel.
Yeah, this freaking dude, like
jeez, I shouldn't have just dropped the name, but hopefully he doesn't see this.
Just blank out the last name, right?
Yeah.
But he was a freaking geezer.
He was disgusting.
He was
a walking lard, 300 pounds.
He looked like Shrek, right?
No, literally.
Ears coming out freaking 10 inches off the edge of his head. And
would it be rude to put a picture? I can't do it, but you're not exaggerating at all.
Maybe like blur his face.
Bro, this is crazy right now.
I don't know. Maybe we don't want to put somebody on blast, but the point we're trying to get at, it's that he was
it was like no other.
His confidence was through the roof.
That he got away with everything. Everything.
Yeah, like he was getting girls. Obviously, I don't condone what he was doing. Neither do you. But the point is, like, he was, dude. It
showed. Yeah, it was full display. It didn't matter how you looked. If your confidence was to that level, you got away with the world was yours.
Yeah.
You could do whatever you wanted, and we saw it. We were like, this is insane. Like, I remember people, dude, genuinely being afraid.
When I viewed him, like, because he bullied me a lot.
A dangerous.
He was
a school shooter type.
Unhinged.
Yeah.
Like I did not trust him.
Yeah, I didn't doubt that he could pull off some really sinister stuff.
Yeah.
Scary. Like, yeah, no, it was like he had no regard for rules.
Zero.
Yeah.
Zero.
Or authority and everybody knew it.
Yeah.
Wow. And I think, you know what's crazy? Those things that we remember, I think really shape us. Mm-hmm. And there's hidden like traumas within like how we carry ourselves in the world through 100%. Middle school, high school,
100%.
Right? And we carry it with us to this day. And as much as there's like arguments where everything we do is to try and make up for the lost time that like, oh, I wish I could go back and do things this way. And it's compensating for all the things that we missed out on, or we're like, oh, we could have done that better, but we can't go back.
No, dude, I know. And so back to your original point, middle school, I think, was a very different experience for both of us, including Morgan, our best
everybody,
friend.
And that's and that's why we're so different.
Morgan was dope. Like, I remember when I was cool with him, I was friends with him. Yeah. And then he, in 6th grade, he invited me to his birthday party at Laser Quest. Do you remember that?
I remember that.
Bro, I was like, wait, what? Like,
that was, bro, I was mind blown. And because there was so many people from what I remember, and everybody got 2 cards. We could go 2 rounds with everybody.
And you only got 1?
No, we all got 2 cards. Okay, yeah. And everybody gave him money. He was like, yo, just give me money. And it was like so genius because everyone pulled up and gave him like $20, and there was like 50 heads. And he had a fat stack, and he's like, dude, look, he was showing it off. And I was like, wow. And I was thinking, like, how baller is it that his parents are shelling out? So it wasn't a crazy thing. I'd never seen anything like that.
Yeah, no, but yeah, I mean, again, Morgan was the type of person that he was really dope, right? He was cool. Like, he wasn't a bully. Or maybe, I mean, everybody was partially bullied, right?
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, not like at the level of people. Yeah. He keeps saying his last name. Sorry. But he understood the having confidence and then having people follow him. Right. And so he was able to play to that.
He understood it. It was a power play.
Right?
Yeah.
He understood it through middle school, through high school.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, people like me just didn't figure that out. I mean, I don't know. I thought like I knew it. I thought I knew I thought I was being genuine.
Yeah.
Right. But then I realized, looking back, that I was just being soft, like being shelled. I was being very like timid.
I could see that.
So.
Bro, he took you to Hawaii, right?
He did.
Was that one of the greatest like friend trips
Bro, I had to retake a whole class in high school because I didn't go to summer school because I went on that trip instead.
You were literally set because you were like, this is a once in a lifetime, like,
Yeah.
crazy
My dad
thing.
also saw it that way too. He's like, you know, when are you ever going to go to Hawaii again?
But
So I
that's
went.
crazy. And you just go,
Yeah, that was crazy. Crazy sick trip.
bro, the next bullet point, and this is the hard thing about good and bad, like having notes. Like, I almost want to stick to it,
Mm-hmm.
even though, like, we could go somewhere else, but my brain's like, I wrote it.
I like this better.
Okay. I wanted to talk about the differences between running a business and a 9 to 5, because currently Jacobo's got TrueBug, and that's what he's repping. He's talking about the sneakers, the clothing. I wanted to get into that and go into the nitty gritty of like, you're starting your own business, like so much respect for that. And then with me being a 9 to 5er, like I never wanted to be a 9 to 5er, but now that I'm actually living it, I wanted to talk about that. So we'll just get into that a little bit and see where that goes.
Sure.
So starting the business, was that always in the plans? Like when did the earliest seed or inkling of TrueBug start? Was it after the mission? Like, did you know you and your brother were going to go into it? Like,
So on my mission, my last companion, he had told me about his brother that worked for this random other pest control company, and he was talking to me about how much this guy was making doing door-to-door pest control, like, you know, knocking doors.
Yep.
And, you know, even my companion did. He's like, dude, it sucked. It's so hard, but like the money was really, really good. I was like, oh, that's probably something I would want to do. And then I come home, I learn about like a local pest control company. I get myself into it, and I realize that there is a good amount of money that goes on. And then I move out to Utah, and then I see that it's 10 times bigger than I could have ever imagined. And the amount of money that people are making in 5 months, it was just stupid, right? So my initial plan was to go to school, use pest control as a time to just make money to get myself through school. But it wasn't until I ran a team my third summer that I was like, oh, wait, it was a franchise opportunity, quote unquote.
with what was it again?
Doesn't even matter. I don't even want to plug these people.
Wow.
No bad blood, but they're just like not a company I would recommend to my friend to use. Let's just put it that way.
I like it.
But yeah, I was like, oh wait, I can work 5 months out of the year and then make this type of dividend or residual on a yearly basis. So that kind of got me exposed. But then later on, again, just working for a small local pest control company, I still didn't really completely understand the level of equity and the level of overrides that you can get when you do like these teams, which is what, you know, most people out here in Utah are doing. And I was like, oh wait, I'm actually getting super gypped for what I'm doing and what I'm sacrificing, and I'm not getting paid what I'm actually worth. So then the following year, that's when I started, like, you know, possibly, you know, thinking about it, talking with JD. My brother's JD, and he was a technician for 2 years at that point. Was it going?
I don't know when it paused. I just saw that it stopped.
Really?
The audio's still going. The video just cut out.
Why does it happen?
Dude, I'm going to have to fix that, but that's been a reoccurring problem. Like randomly at 30 or 40 minutes, it'll cut out.
Really?
That's really weird.
Okay. Well, anyways, yeah, I know this answer is kind of long-winded, but it was the summer before I started, we started TrueBug. That's when it kind of was like, it became more real because...
When did it start?
It started February. Technically, we bought in because JD had started. It was always JD's plan to have his own pest control company, to have his own license.
Wow.
So he was like...
JD is the mastermind.
He was like, with or without you, I'm doing this. And he's a doer. So he's like, with or without you, I'm starting TrueBug.
Wow, dude.
So it was literally like, there's proof in my freaking, like, in my Zelle. I was like, okay, like November 29th is when Brad and I officially bought in to... Wow. November 29th of 2022 was when we bought in. And at that point, it was just like go time. I was like, okay, let's start freaking getting.
How much work is it initially to buy into, like, how much work is JD doing to get TrueBug set up? Is there a lot of logistical paperwork that needs to be filed?
So our initial like design, like of the TrueBug and the shield,
I remember.
And then even the lettering here, that was all JD. Like JD created that. And then, you know, putting in the time to get everything licensed, to be licensed with the state, to get properly insured. He did all that.
Wow.
And so we try to basically say, okay, like, you probably put in 100 hours or so into building TrueBug.
Okay.
But we want to be equal partners with you, like 30-30-30
wow.
split. So I paid a portion of what we all agreed was, you know, 33% of the business, and then Brad paid that same portion. And then from there, we kind of just started on equal playing grounds with, you know, a pretty basic understanding of what our roles and responsibilities would be.
Wow. That was a very professional answer. Long, and it taught me, like, if I really want to do this, like, there's a skill and an art in truly listening and being patient.
Yeah. And
because I was like, I don't know how long this is going to go for.
Yeah. And also knowing, like, if you're going to go in with partners, like, knowing what you're going to be doing and what the other person's going to bring to the table.
Dude, segueing this into, like, truly doing the podcast, like with me, you, JD, and Morgan, how are we, is it kind of dead in the waters now? Like, is it kind of over or what?
I think what it is, and this is a very common issue just in any startup from my understanding. Yeah. It's like identifying a clear leader that's going to take initiative and tell people what needs to be done.
I see.
So we all have, like, this same, you know, I feel like we all want it more or less about the same. I feel like maybe you want it a little bit more.
Yeah.
But you've even told me, like, you're kind of waiting for, I think it's me, you know, to move.
Bro, I love what you did with this, and I guess it is harder too that we're not all in the same area, and which is why this makes it so much more special right now. Like, I'm really just still in awe that we're doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to, in a dream scenario, like JD has said this towards me too, so I'll just cycle it back. Like, put people on salary and be like, yo, we're doing this, you know? But I don't have it like that. And so it's like, thinking about if I did, like, how would I rearrange these dynamics of, like, because before when I did have it, it was like I really didn't know what to do with it, and I lost it.
Dude, you know what's crazy? It's like a lot of times we don't really have to people always say don't reinvent the wheel, right? That's a very common phrase.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we have plenty of examples of what a good and successful podcast looks like.
Yep.
We just have to copy them. Literally. But the thing is, there's no individual leader that's kind of delegating and leading the vision of,
True.
You know, of
True.
the podcast. So
I got it. Yeah, if I really want it, that's the biggest thing, I guess, is like, how bad do I really want to make this happen? And truthfully right now it's like, okay, maybe this will spark something, maybe not, I don't know. And that's the how bad do I want. I gotta really, the why. Have you ever heard that? Like, you gotta know your why. It's like, is it for the money? Is it for fame? Like, and I've constantly, like, am having these thoughts
that you don't even know what your why is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't have a clear-cut why. So, and I'm guessing your clear-cut why is family, right? Is that, would you say that's the biggest motivator for your business and TrueBug, and how far you're gonna take it?
Dude, my why for TrueBug, it's kind of like, it's layered, but ultimately what it is my why is freedom of time to serve my family and people. That's literally That's literally TrueBug. And TrueBug is only just the vehicle that will allow me to have like freedom of time. And that it's such a cliche thing to say.
No,
But
that's what it is.
right now,
Yeah.
like I'm fully aware that for the next 5 years, probably like I don't have freedom of time. Like I'm here, for example, like I'm here, but tomorrow morning, no matter how late we stay up, I actually have to get up and do work. Like I'm on vacation, but I have to help out our office person. Like Brad and I have to freaking get some financial statements together to bring on like investors, and we need to do that by next week.
What are you doing tomorrow? Bro, this is all new to me.
Working.
I understand, but what you're trying to find investors tomorrow.
No, I'm saying tomorrow, even though I'm on vacation,
Yeah.
Brad and I are staying at the Airbnb and having to work. Like even though we're here in Utah with our family. So the thing is like, you know, going back to your original thing about 9 to 5 versus like the entrepreneur thing, it's like that's the ultimate goal of an entrepreneur, right? To have that control of your time. But a lot of times people think it just comes really fast or really soon. Yeah. But the reality of it all is that like that becomes your goal of freedom of time. But sometimes you never get out of the loop of like this, like being an entrepreneur.
Until maybe you sell the business.
Bro, even then, like people, especially in entrepreneurship, like people become addicted to the work. Like people become addicted to the fulfillment of getting crap done, to where that becomes like their idol.
That's real.
And then they completely forget
the
original why.
That's so real, dude.
Like you know, having a family, having the freedom of time, like being able to be there in all ways possible for your kids and for your wife. So
that's true.
So
I've seen those interviews with the YouTubers where it's like you're interviewing the billionaire and you're like, was it worth it? And they're always like, no.
Yes.
I'm divorced. I lost my wife. I hardly ever see my kids. Yes. Never had a relationship with them because I was always working.
Yes.
And that's common.
Yep. And then, dude, even I was watching an interview with the NVIDIA CEO.
Oh, I think you sent me the clip. Yeah, he was like, dude, I could not relive it knowing what I know now.
Yeah. He was like, would you go back and do it all again? He's like, no. He literally said,
it's not worth it. Yeah.
It's not worth it. Like if you would, dude, I mean, he didn't really go into too much detail, but I'm guessing he lost a lot of friends, right? He lost out on a lot of really cool experiences like with his friends and family. I mean, he built like this uber successful business, but it seems like there's a part of him that was just like, I did this for my family and the freedom. And that ended up involving into just now I have like this multi-billion-dollar business that like is impacting basically everybody around the world.
Yeah. The purpose changes.
So
I guess that's kind of the segueing into the 9 to 5 part, which I'm living and I never wanted to live. But I'm getting comfortable. I don't know if this is good or bad. I'm getting comfortable in the steady paycheck and the benefits and the consistent investments into a 401k and all these things, and falling into this trap that I always knew and would always buy into the other side of like, don't fall into that trap. And I'm living it and I'm fully immersed in it and seeing the comforts of it where I'm like, yeah, this is why people sacrifice their hopes and dreams and settle. Mm-hmm. And so I still have this in the back of my mind and I'm understanding it. And like, this is also, I've always wanted to do things in media. There's still like things kind of on the back burner, like on a low simmer. And so I'm just honestly like, I have all these things in place where I'm really like grateful for, but I'm not fully gratified and like
fulfilled
and like, yo, I'm in the 9 to 5, cool. Like, but I'm not. And so with the business, are you finding yourself like in a struggle with that yet? That tomorrow you got to work, like you said, and you're constantly thinking about the business, like, and you knowing like, yo, there's a point where it goes too far. How do you avoid the pitfalls of that and navigate that?
I think for one, like my wife and I think we're on like a very common understanding of what's required of me to be like involved.
Is she very supportive of the business and understanding like, yo, this is the bread and butter?
Yeah. Yeah.
So she's like, you got to do your thing.
Yeah. And I think the coolest part about that, it's that as I've, talked to her more about what's going on with TrueBug, and Taylor also graduated with a degree in applied statistics.
Yeah.
So she actually helps us with like creating like
No way.
with our Excel stuff. She
Wow.
actually helps us with like some of our forecasting stuff. And I think the coolest part is that I've noticed that her expectations, like of what we could have, like it's like increasing. Like it's almost like as if like her vision to the horizon, it's like going up. Like she's seeing like, oh, okay, like so it's actually possible that we buy a house soon, right? Or like or the kind of house, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I would want maybe something like this in the backyard.
Wow.
And what's really cool about it for me is like that's actually a real possibility. Like it's almost, obviously there's no true telling of what's going to happen in the future, right?
Which is a great segue into the economy. We're going to talk about that, of course.
Which again, it's so unpredictable. Like even even all the stuff that we get from the Fed, like it's just like who the fetch knows what's going to happen, right? But again, assuming that we don't have like the most unbelievable crash that the world has ever seen ever within the next 3 years, like I think TrueBug truly needs like 3 years, and then I can just freaking start getting cash, like cash heavy, and be okay if the recession hits.
Wow.
But like assuming that happens and I have at least 3 years, yeah, like a lot of expectations will just be fulfilled. My expectations of how my life will look like, and her expectations of like
crazy
our lifestyle could be like real.